All right, I'm your host, Silver Deeds. Sanjan, take it away.
All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to RPG Limit Break 2026. Woo! I am so proud to be opening this run with Mass Effect 3. This is on the Legendary Edition. It is a very fun, very fast-paced shooter game. It's a core classic. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. Great game, definitely play it. And with me on my couch is my lovely commentator, PT. Please introduce yourself.
Greetings and salutations. If you're not tired of me, too bad. I'm here now commentating for Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 is actually one of my all-time favorite games, and Mass Effect is one of my favorite series. As Sanjan said, please, 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 with Legendary Edition, go out and play it. It is a trilogy of all time. I am honored and pleased that you've brought me here to commentate for you, and we also have a small co-commentator. We have our friend Tali. Tali will be commentating with us as well. Everyone, please say hello to Tali.
And if that's enough of preview for you, it's girls' night. So
yes.
Without further ado, let's get started on the speedrun in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so as you notice here, I started on a pre-save because there's a lot of introductory cutscenes. Shepard's a speedrunner, and the Spectre literally, we don't got time for that. So this first part is sort of just like an introductory to the game. There's a lot of plot that had happened because, you know, we've seen a speedrun of 1 and 2 on the main stage, and in 3, you know, in classic fashion, all hell has gone loose, and the big thing that you saw, the little squid thing, this little big mechanical squid thing that you saw is attacking Earth, the Reapers. They're not very friendly neighborhood people, and everyone's just like, oh no, Shepard, please help.
Come on, we gotta move.
So the entirety of the game, as Sanjan aptly trained me up on, is that Mass Effect is a series about everyone in your group having skill issues. And that is why Shepard is here saving the day again, and it's against giant mechanical squids. It's mechanical squids all the way down. For a lot of the tech that we're going to be using, we're going to be playing as Vanguards, we're going to be barrel rolling, pretending that we're Sonic the Hedgehog. We're not actually Sonic the Hedgehog, but we're also going to be charging not just to get into enemies, but to skip a lot of terrain.
Yeah, but Vanguards are very busted in the speedrun just primarily because it is the fastest way to get through places. And it's not as busted as it was in 2 because in 2 you can actually skip a lot of the animation, and here you cannot skip the animation, but that's okay because we're Vanguards, we go zoomy through the battlefield. Also, it's a very, very fun class to play casually as well.
So the entire premise is that you're fighting against the Reapers, and they have this very bad tendency to take over literally anything and turn them into, we'll say they're minions. They're minions. So we're going to spend a lot of the game fighting against the Reapers because that's the big threat against the world, but we're also going to have to fight against Cerberus because if you've played through Mass Effect 2, you know that Cerberus is interesting TM. It's very interesting TM.
Also, I don't have a vengeance against the floor. This is supposed to be an auto-scroller section, but you can technically skip this auto-scroller section. There's a hard-coded event in here, in that if you run out of ammo, then the game kind of gives you just like a mercy and skips to the next stage. So I swear, chat, I don't have a vengeance against the floor.
I didn't realize, too, that you were emptying all of your guns. So now we're going to have someone come in to save the day.
The cavalry has arrived.
There's explosions. There's Normandy. She's here. Everything's going to be fine. Allegedly. So what we're actually doing here is we're using a mod to skip through all of the cutscenes, because if you do not use this mod, there are several cutscenes throughout this entire run that are unskippable, and it'll add, what do we say, Sanjan?
It adds like an hour and a little more to the speedrun.
And we're speedrunners, we just simply don't have time for that, as Commander Shepard has dictated from the beginning here.
Yeah, so I also want to note we are playing on the Legendary Edition and not on the original version. And that's also primarily because the mod is for the Legendary Edition. Also, we are going to be introduced to our next The first entrant here for Girls Night, Liara. So why don't you explain Liara?
Sure thing. So Liara is a recurring character in the series, and the main reason that we want her is because she is a biotics specialist. So biotics in this game are, for lack of better phrasing, your casters, and we want her primarily for things like her singularity, along with a couple of other biotic moves. Singularity in particular is going to be extraordinarily important because it is a move that is not only an AoE, but it'll also force enemies into a non-combative state and then put them in the air so that they cannot do anything except for be shot by you. A lot of these areas are going to be dictated by how many enemies you can kill, so Singularity is going to help out with that dramatically on the account of, hey, if they can't fight back, you win by default. A lot of the classes in this are going to be dictated by those little pieces, so Liara is going to be a pure biotic class, whereas your character is actually a Vanguard, which is a melee and biotic hybrid. That's why you're able to have access to charge, and then later on in the run, we're going to see a move called Nova, which is going to be really helpful. Liara is also just going to talk a lot about very obvious things. We love her down, but also we know, baby girl, we're aware things are very bad TM.
There's a lot of plot TM going on here. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, at this particular point is when she reveals that she thought that they were being attacked by Reapers.
You're not... Please.
They thought they were being attacked by Reapers, and this is when it's revealed that they're actually being attacked by Cerberus. So again, there's two threats here. Reapers, which want to take over the world. Cerberus, who thinks that they can control Reapers to take over the world. Basically, both of them are terrible. Wonderful Singularity by Liara there as well. As you can see, it helped get rid of those shields, and now Sanjan is going to kill a certain number of people to make sure that these doors open up quickly. Once we actually get the spacing for it, yeah, they're memeing on you a little bit. We're going to always try and find a person in the back to lock onto and then charge so that we can close all of that distance.
Oh, that's bad. Okay, I have to reload that.
Oh, no. I saw the door kind of memed on you a little bit there.
I kind of stepped on, like, the very edge of it, rather. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. It's a pretty cool section anyhow, so...
Well, we got to see another clean Singularity by Liara. Maybe Girls' Night is going to be great after all because she seems to be on top of it. So again, we're going to just get rid of some of these enemies. We're going to lock onto person in the back, run towards the door, and as soon as it opens, we're going to try and barrel roll through it.
All right, nice. The nice thing about the speedrun is that it is, as opposed to the other speedruns, is that mistakes are generally extremely forgiving.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that we've discussed a little bit too, is as you're watching along, a nice thing about this is that we're playing on narrative difficulty. That means that we're going to have a lot more shields and enemies are going to have a lot less health. This is why we're able to run through with the 1 HP Dream and not particularly worry about it. But as we're talking about that, it's a nice cozy speed run to get into. So if you've ever been thinking about getting into a shooting style RPG, in general, play Mass Effect, if you want one that's for a speed run, this is a great one to start with. So right here, Sanjan is going to try and set up for a skip. Being quiet so you can get your skip.
Yeah, so there's a skip here that I can do that saves about 15 seconds. Normally there's a tram that loads here, or that we have to wait for. And we got it, nice.
Nice.
Shepard also likes to get glued to cover. So normally here you would have to wait for the tram to go over because there's a bunch of enemies, but if we skip the cutscene while holding a direction to walk at a certain time, it just instantly spawns. We're also going to get quickly introduced here to another very fun skip here, called the elevator skips. How would you like to, or would you like to explain that?
Sure thing. So what we're going to try and do in this next section is we're going to blast through some enemies. We're going to charge all the way to the end. There's going to be one guy who memes on us because he can't stop being by Shepard, which we'll take care of that. And the elevator skip is going to function such that Sanjan is going to find a spot to stand on that's going to be very precise. And if you stand on it correctly, like you just saw there, it'll push you upwards. And then if you push up far enough, it'll just push you through to the next area. That was the first time we saw that skip. We're going to see it a couple more times in this run to just skip through entire sections and in some cases, entire worlds. So now we're in the chase sequence. The mandatory is the final game, so we have to be epic chase sequence going after Dr. Eva. She's primarily important because something, Cerberus scientist, something, stop her. But we primarily care about her because she is going to be responsible for helping us get our other Girls' Night character after she is taken care of, we'll say. After she is taken care of. Again, the entire premise of this is we want to stop Reapers, but Cerberus wants to stop us because they want to take over Reapers. And so, two threats for one, it's not a good time. It's not a great time. is also automatically set up to where she has to always be faster than you. So even though we're right on her heels, you can see that they're putting in purposeful blockers so that you can't actually catch her.
Yeah, it's also a scripted sequence. This game does have a lot of scripted sequences here. So there's a lot that happened. There's a lot that happened here. So at Mars, and then Shepard's got to go, be a classy person and talk to a couple people. So Deeds, do you got anything for us?
Oh boy, do I have lots of things to read. Lots of people greeting everybody. First, we have. Excuse me. Now we have Aris_TGD saying, let's get this started. No bonus runs left behind. Let's put this donation towards unlocking that Get in the Car Loser DLC. And then we also have Windless with $25 saying, another year, another RPG limit break, raising money for NAMI. Mental wellness is important to me, and NAMI has done important things to raise awareness and reduce stigma. In these current times, it is more important than ever to have mental wellness advocacy and inclusivity, as well as resources to provide outreach to those who need help coping with what issues they have. NAMI has done so much, now more than ever. What NAMI provides is necessary. And finally, trans rights are human rights. That's a fact.
Trans rights?
Hashtag trans rights.
So just want to shout out, this is all for NAMI, everything. All these donations go towards NAMI. And to read even more hype, let's go. We've got Wells with $100 saying, let's go!
I can't do my woo. I think I'll blow out the speakers.
Well, maybe you should try, because we also have a donation from BD Jeffrey P giving $1,000.
Wow.
Let's hear it from the crowd here.
Okay, the speakers survived. We're fine. Everything's fine.
We have Phil, $25 saying RPG limit break. Let's go! Best of luck to all the runners and staff on making RPG limit break 26-1 to remember.
So I'm going to cut in here for a second because speaking of the mission of NAMI, this scene is actually very critical to that exact conversation. What we're seeing here, we're going to see it a couple of times throughout the run. This is actually the flashback and memories of Shepard realizing that no matter what she does and how good of a hero she is, she can't save everyone. And so what she's going through there is just her kind of slowly but surely deteriorating at the thought that no matter how many times she tries it, she just cannot win that fight. And it's something that's very important in the conversation around mental well-being, because you can't be everywhere all the time, and she's just not doing well with that realization.
Yeah, she's been through a lot in the first 2 games.
Yeah, she's gone through, well, technically speaking, she's gone through saving the world once from the Reapers and having to tell everybody the Reaper threat was coming and being disbelieved. Then in the second game, she died. So, that's a whole thing. And Cerberus brought her back to life, and she was just like, oh, okay, that's a whole thing that's going on there. And now she's in the third game as a kind of sort of bionic woman that is still out saving the world against the people who saved her, along with the Reapers that she told everybody about in the first game. So she's having a time.
So I'm going to cut in here real quick. There's a pretty large menu here. So I unequipped the shoddy because we don't really need the shoddy. And I equipped... So I put a bunch of abilities on people. I put Carnage on Shepard, I upgraded Carnage on Shepard. I put it on James, and then I got Warp and then I got Warp on Liara. So you also notice I unequipped the shoddy because the game has a weight system where the more weapons that you have on and the much higher they weigh, the higher cooldowns you have. So since we are going to be zooming around the battlefield a lot, and our abilities are going to be the primary source of our damage, so we want as much cooldown reduction as possible. So, and thankfully, we are going to stick with this pistol for the rest of the game, which thankfully is actually a pretty solid pistol.
Another thing that's really nice about the pistol as we're talking about abilities is as you're watching Sanjan's character choices, we're picking people depending on what we're dealing with on each planet. So Carnage and fire ammo is going to be extremely critical for all of our fleshy friends out there, but then we're also going to be working towards characters that have the biotic skills, which are really, really good against enemies to make sure that they're not fighting against you. And they're really, really good for just burning through other items, generally speaking.
Oh,
we're also
that's unfortunate.
We're also going to have tech stuff coming up with people who are more tech specialists with a few of our characters later on, and that's going to be really useful for getting through shields. So everyone that's going to be joining us is going to be very, very deliberate to make things as speedy as possible. And right now, what Sanjan is doing is we're memeing on terrain. We're currently memeing on terrain because, like all good game development, there are areas that have a little bit more higher planes than normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that to our advantage and just bypass a lot of these areas, because otherwise we're supposed to go through and shoot multiple hordes, multiple waves. There's lots of dialogue and lots of real big, this is important moments. Another thing that's really important about this speed run is the fact that it may look like Sanjan is just reloading on the principle of it, but this game is also very generous about their autosaves. They're very generous about letting you manually save, and that can be used not just for reloading terrain and areas so that you can go to next pieces to skip. It's also useful for reviving your teammates and repositioning your teammates so that you can do things like make ground optional.
Shepard got put on as a Spectre, She's literally a Spectre.
She's actually a Spectre. Walls are optional, ceilings are optional, engaging the storyline is optional, but this slide, not optional.
So you notice that I had to go over that entire area. There's a certain death trigger sequence that happens there because we skipped, a lot of the sort of side mission to help out the Turian camp. And because if we didn't do that, then it just like automatically game's over. It's like you didn't protect them, and turns out they didn't make it across the whole place, so you can just clip over it. So we skipped about like a good 50% of Monet.
Which, I mean, it's a speed run. That's what we do. Shepard doesn't abide the laws of logic here. She's a Spectre. She does what she wants. And in this case, it's not Monet. So you see all the dynamics of the background. It really, really wants to drill home the fact that this is a war that's happening on the entire galaxy. The entire plot of the game is that the Reapers are coming. Again, we told you this, but no one listened. And now they're actually here and they're taking over entire star systems. And everyone is putting the weight of how to fix this on the shoulders of one Commander Shepard, who is just running through Monet and saying, I really don't want to deal with this, but she doesn't really have much of a choice. And her teammates are somewhere behind her, I guess, allegedly. They're there, I think.
The whole premise of this in my speedrun canon is that everyone's got skill issues, and Shepard's going to be like, and it's like, okay, I'll fix your skill issue, I guess. And then the formula basically repeats, and we're gonna get this from the neighborhood. So there's a lot of enemies you have to deal with here. You're also gonna be introduced to our first sort of elite enemy here. Not the Marauders. The Marauders are supposed to be the
upgraded, kind of shielded bros of Reapers. But the Brutes are your first big bad that you actually run into because they're very thick, they have a lot of armor, and they're massive.
Yeah, if they get into melee range of you, they can actually like one-hit you. It's a very long sequence. We also don't want to be in front of them because it slows down time.
This is why we have Carnage on deck, and we have Carnage on 2 characters because James has it and Shepard has it. Helps shred through that armor. Hey, Council. Bye, Council. Nobody likes the Council. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. While we're running through this section, I think we could sneak in maybe a Donnie.
All right, well, we've got lots of hype still coming in. Gearster Carl gave $15 say, greetings to RPG LB 2026. Let's go, and good luck with the RNG.
All right, so as PT mentioned about us getting Dr. Eva being very important, we have this fun little cutscene here where Edie is like, I want to be part of girls' night. I'm tired of being an AI chained to the ship.
Yeah, Edie kind of caught wind of Cortana and said, I want to be that, but actually out in the field. And that's why Edie is now going to be able to join us because she's taken over the suit. And even though that's the AI that governs your ship, she also can come with you on missions, which is super cool because she is a pure tech build. So her whole thing is that she's going to be specialized for using, I believe it's Overload.
Yes.
And again, that's going to be super helpful for when we're fighting against a lot of people out there that have shields. Because Overload, typically, even at the early stages, can one-shot most shields and then open up their health so that you can get them down quickly. And again, because we want to have a head count in some of these places, that makes things a lot easier.
So she ordered her goon squads to take them.
One thing to note also, for this category, we are starting on a new game file, but the new game file is not imported.
Yes.
It's Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. It's only important if you want to, if you ever get around to playing this game, if you want to carry over the decisions that you've made in 1 and 2 in specific. But for this, it actually works for our benefit because everything from the vanilla startup is just what benefits the run. Otherwise, you have other things that change up, and then you might be a little bit attached to some of the things you have to do, and that's not going to be a good time.
Yeah, so we have to, so we're doing, the fastest state is the default world state, which is a little grim because a lot of the characters that you think would be there and an average playthrough are not there.
This is Sikesh.
So Reeve is intended to be the replacement for Rex.
Not having Rex is painful. That hurts a little bit. You have a brief introduction to Morton Solus. You can play as him in Mass Effect 2, but you do not get to play as him in Mass Effect 3. But he does talk to you a lot about some of the things that Solarians did throughout history, and in particular, they're going to talk a little bit more about things like the Genophage, which we're not going to get into that just yet. That's going to come up in a couple of missions from now. But just keep that in the back of your head as an important plot detail if you're wanting to know what's going on with the storyline outright. This world in particular isn't too terribly exciting. It's pretty short and sweet and to the point. We're going to have some people come up. I want to say it's Cerberus again.
Yeah, it's Cerberus again. There's a lot of flashy gunshots and firing. That's the fun part. Very fast paced. We're eliminating enemies left, right, and center.
So they're bringing in people, and we're taking them out as fast as they come in.
Yeah, they all just want to say hi to us, but you know, I don't want their kind of hugs.
Yeah, their hugs are pretty bad. It's pretty awful, generally speaking. Another reason that this planet is particularly important is because this is going to introduce us to that other move that we spent. Hey, he disappeared completely. That's okay. He must be a Spectre too, and we just missed it. This is going to introduce us to our move Nova, which is going to be useful when we have a lot of enemies that are clustered together, especially around places we need to go like doors, ladders, and what have you, and helping with that head count because Nova is going to chain behind charge. So you'll see Sanjan charge forward, and after she charges forward, she's going to kind of do a ground pound. And in that ground pound, she's going to just do a big AoE that depletes her shield, but also takes out enemies around her. We don't want to wear that out too terribly much because Nova is actually going to slow down a lot of the time. And again, that means we're slowing down our run, and we don't want to really do a whole lot of that. Like we've had things that we're willing to tolerate, but that's just not one of them.
It's very fun though. If you ever play casually, a lot of people tout how good the Vanguard build is.
Vanguard is probably one of my favorite characters. It's the one that I did for my full Paragon playthrough, and I regret absolutely nothing.
Cerberus was informed of the Krogan's presence. They responded.
You are going to see a lot of dialogue that's going through here too, that it's semi-important, but unfortunately it's all, hey, is he T-posing for dominance, sir?
Yeah, I think he's...
yeah, he's, okay.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Love that for him.
There's no one in charge. Unlucky.
You're also going to see a lot of different beats that are going on here that reiterates that Shepard's whole role in this game and timeline is she has to effectively fix and save everything. So you can see things for pod integrity. That's because our role here is explicitly to just keep enemies under bay while they get things packed up and moved out, because they're trying to grab up as much as they can and make sure that they can actually work towards the Reaper threat. Because that is another core value of this game, or a core story beat, I should say, which is we all have to work together to make this work. And there's a lot of trials and tribulations to why that does and doesn't work.
Yeah, basically, like, everyone's kind of just, you know, got their little missions. Like, well, we can help you, but, There's another one? Okay. And then we get introduced to the Cerberus, the main enemy here, Atlas?
Just an oversized transformer. Get it out of here. Having Reeve and not Rex hurts me a little bit, but what doesn't hurt me is donations.
Donations. Well, we have so much more coming in. PX Micaiah gave $75 and says, "We are back for another year of Limit Break." We are here to celebrate the returning folks and the new folks, but also to honor those who have left us and to honor a member of our family who has left us. Put this donation towards Ness Nori after Nori Maki _senior. Thank you so much for your donation. We have more NAMI comments here. We have one from Far Diddy Far Far for $25 saying, love this event and watch it every year. Been working on my mental health for years, and this event reminds me to shatter that barrier. Take care of yourself. To anyone who's listening, hit up NAMI if you need help. Love to all, especially my darling wife and daughter watching me. Now let's hit the limit break on mental illness.
I was like, can we get some woos?
Woo! And we also have $100 coming in from Cylone Andrews saying, as someone with bipolar disorder and OCD who walked at NAMI Walks yesterday, this is awesome. Thank you. P.S. I love RPGs.
RPGs are pretty good. RPG Limit Break is a good spot to catch some really good ones. Like I said, Mass Effect is probably one of my favorites of all time, so I'm very happy to see it on the stage. So now we're doing a Turian rescue because, as Sanjan mentioned, everyone's willing to help, but it always is kind of prefaced with, well, we'll help you, but and they give you a full list of things you have to do before they actually agree to help you. This one's going to be pretty straightforward because we're going to have some precise charges. We might have a couple of people that die here or there, but the biggest thing that we're going to have an issue with is going to be the Harvester that comes up. Because the Reapers are sending out all their big guns at this point because they want to take over the galaxy, which I would send all my good stuff too. It just makes sense. But we have to get rid of it.
And yeah, we're bringing James on this mission primarily because Carnage is going to be very good against the Reapers. We don't face against that many Marauders. And, you know, James also deserves to be part of Girls' Night for a little bit.
James would be the bouncer of Girls' Night. It's true. It's very true. We love James in this house because he's a homie. He's a buddy, if you will. So as you can see, we're just dodging everybody. There's lots of stuff we could be doing, lots of stuff you could even be picking up. As you can go through the game, you'll see that there's a couple of things that pop up in the bottom right corner, which are just random dossiers about information. And there's a few of them that are just going to be information about enemies. It's pretty straightforward. You can kind of see what's happening with them depending on their armor or their shields. And if you look closely at the Reapers, you'll see that they are...
Real timing.
Oof. Oh, not that. All right, but he's got taken care of. Oh no, we've got people behind you too, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to crouch here. Actually, that's fine timing for our friendly neighborhood Harvester. So I had to time that shot pretty well, mainly because it is easy to miss that Harvester. James, Lee, our buddy. They can spawn also in random places. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Could be worse.
They were actually memeing on you there a little bit.
Could be worse.
It could have been much worse.
Yeah, a lot of these, and a lot of the time that you lose is from these enemies going or basically playing "Where's Reaper Waldo" on you.
So the next mission that we're going to go to is Tachanka. And then speaking of those dossiers, you just saw that there was one that said Tachanka, bomb, and then there's one that says the genophage cure. So I mentioned Morden Solus earlier and the Solarians. This is a big part of the entire ME universe, which is the genophage with the Krogan. I had to think about that for a second, with the Krogan. And their whole backstory is essentially that the Krogan were nerfed. Everyone said, yo, they're too powerful, we should nerf them. And then they realized that with the Reaper threat, maybe, possibly, potentially nerfing the strongest race in the entire galaxy was not the best play. Not a good idea. We should probably course correct that. So now what you're doing is you're arguing with people because some people are saying, you know, we could just get rid of Tachanka and act like none of this ever happened. And naturally, the Krogan and a couple of other people are just like, wow, I hate that idea. So you are here now to make the case about why maybe blowing up a planet is a bad idea. Also, remember that time that there's a Reaper threat and we should be working together? We should go back to that timeline. We should go back to that particular piece. Maybe? No? Okay, that's cool too, I guess.
You just spared our race another genocide, Commander.
And you just heard the line there where we made the choices to say, we're not, that's not a thing that we're doing, no.
Understood. Save your pilots. Breathe.
Yeah, I know a lot of people also find this place or this planet iconic because there's also a lot of cool moments that happen.
Yeah, you go to Tachanka across all 3 games in some way, shape, or form. Because in the first one is when you have Rex. The second one is when you get a lot of back lore about some of the actual scientists that are Krogan, which it was believed that a lot of the Krogans couldn't be fit to be scientists, and they were just in the back doing their stuff like, that's not true at all, but okay, sure. And then this one is where we have the entire conversation we just talked about of, hey, we should blow this planet up. And everyone's like, that's a horrible idea. Absolutely not. So we're going to do a few more charges and novas, and we're going to have a few more brutes that come through to hang out, which is not a good time. It's not a great time.
Is there a freaking... Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing... Oh, there we go. Oh, these are Ravagers. Never mind.
Yeah, this is annoying. Yeah, they're pretty annoying, and also those cannibals also like to hide. Ideally, I would like to get them killed before I had to deal with the second wave of them. Thankfully, you can skip through them for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Oh dear.
What's going on?
There's the dialogue options going so fast. It's actually extremely
Yeah,
funny.
it's so funny when you play through this. It's just like playing in high speed. Cause so Calros is that huge Thresher Maul that is trying to beat up the Reaper.
Oh.
They're like, oh no, it's Calros.
Oh, I forgot all about Thresher Maws because I forgot you even have to fight 1 and 2 as like a rite of passage thing. It's like,
Yeah.
why are we punching the Thresher Maw? What is happening here? While we're going through this section, I don't think there's a whole lot of additional that we need to cover. We're just going to blast through, hit some Novas on groups, charge where it's appropriate, and get rid of a couple of brutes. You can go ahead and grab a few more Donny Poos for us.
All right, well, our runners are getting some love too. So we have $50 from Sayun Sky Fan Club saying, Sanjan and PT are wonderful runners and incredibly talented people into all the effort they put to make so many events, including Limit Break, such a great time. Had the pleasure of meeting both, and good luck on the Mass Effect run.
Thank you so much.
There's more. Sanjan is front-running the event, so don't forget the angling and scheming.
Oh my god, I know who this is.
And it's an inside joke, completely inappropriate. We also have $2 from Chew the Pat Man saying, let's go RPG LB. Good luck to Sanjan in the swiftest game even. By the way, that's the coolest galaxy I have ever seen in my life. Sheesh.
One could say it is your favorite galaxy on the Citadel. Okay, I'm done. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Are you okay? Well, I did notice here a $50 donation from someone named PT saying, happy RPG Limit Break 2026. Let's get those lore-driven games.
I don't know who did that. That's so weird.
That's so kind of them.
Oh, thanks for the $50. We love that for us. What we don't love is the giant mechanical squids poking into things. Oh dear God.
And they actually don't deal damage to you.
Yeah.
It's just there for fun effect.
The dramatique. I love too that you can just charge right into a brute, and even though it's huge, it still gets stun locked a little bit by the fact that a small woman just ran right into them.
A Shepherd's Inspector, what can I say?
Hey, that's her lore, that's her canon.
That's the lore.
She's gonna just do whatever she wants. So again, we're having this moment, and you can see in this particular sequence, it looks a little bit worse than last time, because the first time, it is just the kid. Now these are all tiny kind of reminiscent pieces of people and groups that she actively had to leave behind. If you take the time to play through the trilogy, which again, I cannot stress enough, it's an excellent trilogy, you absolutely should do it, and participate in carrying your file through all 3, you'll get to actually see the weight of a lot of her decisions in if she helps one group, sometimes that has an adverse effect of having to impact another group. It means deciding whether or not entire species get to live. There's the Arachne Queen in the first game that you can decide right then and there, do you eliminate that entire race? And these are things that are now just weighing on her as she has, again, gone through saving the world, not once, not twice, but now being asked to do so a 3rd time. I would also be tired. Honestly, I probably would have clocked out. That's just me, though. It's like, y'all doing too much for me.
Yeah, everyone's got skill issues, and they're like, Shepard, please fix. Please.
And it starts out very cheery as a, like, you're right, it's my duty, and I have to do it. And as the game's progressed, it's just her slowly being like, yep.
Yeah, just another Friday.
So if you look at the map, even though it's for brief moments when we have it up there as Sanjan is traveling, you'll notice that some of those circles in particular have actual Reapers on them. That is to kind of highlight as you progress through the game that the Reapers are imminent and coming in. So when you start out, it'll be maybe 1 or 2 galaxies have those Reapers on them. But it'll get higher in quantity and it'll increase more and more and more. And even when you're going out to different galaxies to help them, it kind of exacerbates the piece where she cannot save everybody, because when she goes to one galaxy to help 1 or 2 people or help 1 or 2 communities, all of a sudden you'll look up and you'll realize that there's 3 galaxies that are now being invaded. And it's just too much for her to actually keep up with.
Yeah, you know, which is a great segue to our next mission here, because the Solarian Chancellor calls us, like, say, hey, there's some weird stuff going on, and then you go to the Citadels. Oops, Cerberus got the scoop on everyone.
Yeah, Cerberus coming in and wanting to take over the world and just sending troops that endlessly are like, oh, well, you know, I'm just doing my job, LOL Lamau, is probably the most exhausting beat of the entire thing, because literally, look up in the sky, brother. There's electronic mechanical squids trying to kill everybody, and you're out here saying, but what if, hear me out, what if we took over the mechanical squids? And this is all being governed by someone called the Elusive Man, who will be henceforth referred to as Timmy.
Yeah, I like to call him Timmy.
He flew into a horrible location. I hate that for him.
Yeah. So I try to get that little bypass thing as fast as I can. It's, I think, slightly orangey because it's based on if they kind of get down there pretty quick. We're also ignoring all the enemies because you can just ignore them all if you just run fast enough.
And a lot of this stuff here is about trying to get through their VIs or their AIs, if you want to refer to it that way, and opening doors and making progress. Ooh, excuse me.
So many lives given. I am capturing images of the deceased. It may prove useful for motivating resistance.
There's just a lot going on at the... It's just like unfortunately, the perfect place for Cerberus to start making a mess and then making everything a lot more complicated. Working together is hard.
Working together is extraordinarily hard, and especially when you have people who work together for the wrong reasons.
Bailey, looks like they got the Executor and 2 Solarian bodyguards.
So as we're running through this section, a lot more of the lore is going to be covering how, oh, look, there's more civilians, you have more people to pick up, there's more Cerberus coming. Oh, that was dramatic. Oh my God. I feel like I missed that when we were doing practice. There's a lot of people going through it.
There's nothing here. Okay. So we're introduced to some of our elite enemies here. We saw the Nemesis. The Nemesis, you can think of it as just basically a fancy sniper. If you they have a very clear red scope, and then you let them hit them, they do a lot of damage to you.
Another one that we were introduced to that we're going to see a little bit more of is going to be the Phantoms. And we are entering the territory of the game now where, because they want to be against you as hard as possible, more people who have the capability to potentially one-shot you in melee range have been introduced. And the wild thing about it is that we still have a few more, but now we have this guy. If you want to talk about who our friend is there, Sanjan?
Yeah, so this is Kai Lang. He's one of the Cerberus assassins, and they basically made him into the world's biggest Gary Stew, in my opinion, because whatever he does, he just instantly skill issues everyone, even Shepard.
This is just very, very hilarious to me, because even when I played this casually, I've always hated this character. I hate his design, I hate his attitude, and on top of that, I'm like, you know, Deus Ex is there existing, Albert Wesker is there existing. There are plenty of cool bad guys or good guys that have, like, really dope black glasses or really cool tech stuff TM, and then Kai Lang just comes in with, like, the most Timu-looking face guard and crappy ponytail, and somehow is better than everyone. And he has frustrated me for the better part of 2 decades at this point. This man. I said better part of 2 decades. I know someone's out there going to be like, that's not quite right mathematically. I said better part. So now at this point, we're just chasing after Kai Lang because we know who the big bad for Cerberus is, and that means we have to destroy a lot of elevators. And something else I want to talk about that we haven't touched on is experience in this game. We're at RPG limit break. We're playing the games that are RPGs, and experience is critical. The way that Mass Effect 3 handles experience is instead of getting XP per enemy, you get XP per mission and per objective completed. So that means that as long as you are following through and playing the game, you will get experience and you will be able to level up your character, which is really, really nice because now it's less dependent on you going out to grind and you going out to have to do all this extra footwork of killing people and getting mobs and doing all this extra collectathon stuff. You can simply do your missions and you will be rewarded accordingly. And the way that you get your points is as you level up, you get a point per level and you can use those to open up and upgrade your skills.
Yeah, most of our skills that we'll be using is generally optimized to making sure we have less cooldowns and more AoE. Just mainly because the enemies here have less HP and we would just want to be able to quickly dispatch what we need as fast as possible. All right, so we're going to be introduced to sort of our next arc here. So if you thought, our metaphorical princess is on yet another planet, and we got to go help them out. So we get introduced to another sort of long-standing conflict here, the Quarians and the Geth, and get excited, everyone. A fan favorite's going to be coming back and part of Girls' Night.
So at this point is where we're going to introduce one of the best girls, which is Tali. We love Tali in this house as well. Also a tech expert. There will be moments in the run. I think it's a very, very brief moment that we are going to have Tali plus Edie together, and that is going to introduce something called comboing. And the comboing, we aren't going to see a lot of it, but you might see it on occasion. Combos in this game is going to be when you take two of the same ability and you cast them at the same time. So for example, if Edie casts Overload and then Tali casts a tech move right behind it, that will actually combo and cause an AoE explosion, which is really helpful for taking out mobs. You can also do this with a biotic plus biotic skill, but it has to be the same thing ideally. As you can see here, we're upgrading our overload so that we can make chain overload. Chain overload is actually going to be huge because it does exactly what it sounds like. You cast an overload, and if you actually get progress and or a kill off of it, it's going to chain to the next thing that is in range. And that's delightful. But now we're on now we're walking, and gravity is fake.
It's a whole W simulator, so Deeds, you got anything for us?
I sure do. So we have $15 from Yami Caro saying, I am Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite speedrun of RPG Limit Break.
Sensational.
We also have $25 from Groucho Parks saying, let's go slam jam my goat. GL and glad to see you opening up an awesome event. We also have a couple donations going towards the Name Nest incentive. We have GK with $2 saying, wait a minute, La Any %? Claire Obscure isn't until the finale, and we're already starting off in French. Shout out to the French Restream, and shout out to Sanjan for this opener. Donation goes to Naming Nest and Earthbound Nori after a member of RPGLB community who is sadly no longer with us. And we also have $100 going for the same incentive from Moni Vita saying, let's name Nest Nori in honor of my best friend Nori Maki Sr. who passed away last August. He was such a beacon of support in many Twitch communities and people miss him and remember him fondly whenever his name pops up. Fuzzy Pickles, Nori.
Okay.
You could probably sneak in.
You probably do more donations.
All right. Well, we have Josie Waffles gave $15 saying, let's go RPG Limit Break. Thanks to all the staff and good luck to all the runners. Trans rights.
Trans rights.
We also have, we also have Code Gorilla giving $5 saying, just a quick donation to celebrate the kickoff of RPGLB 2026. I haven't had time to look through the incentives yet, so put this towards Runner's Choice, please. And just a reminder, we do have lots of incentives coming up for Landgrasser coming up right after this game. You can choose the soundtrack. You can do remastered or the original soundtrack. We have for Breath of Fire, Dragon Quarter, Low Drive Storage Showcase. We need $750 to get that showcase going. We have $5 going towards that. And you can name Ryu in the Breath of Fire, Dragon Quarter as well.
That gap was just like in my way.
And see here, I perked up because I still can't believe that Dragon Quarter is on the schedule. As a Breath of Fire enjoyer, I am very excited about that. I am very excited to see Breath of Fire Love always. We're almost through this derelict. We're getting there, TM. I can go ahead and drop off a little bit of the story time for this, though. So there's a couple of things that have happened here that we haven't covered because we were letting the hosts give all the love. Thank you so much for all the donations to Nami. It is super duper appreciated, everybody. Make sure you keep them coming because we do have lots of incentives and there's lots of limit break to do. We're only on day 1. We just now kicking off. So here we are fighting against what's called the Geth. And the Geth are interesting for a lot of reasons. It's not a really nice way to talk about it. It's just they're interesting. The entire war between the Quarians and the Geth is about the fact that, so the Quarians created the Geth thinking, hey, what if we had assistants that did all these cool things for us? It went exactly as you expected. They kind of gained sentience, decided, nope, we're not about that life, and then things got overthrown. So the Quarians are unique in that they actually don't have a home planet. Like the Krogan are on Tachanka. I forget the homeland of the Turians. I'm so sorry for Space Boy.
Monet, I think?
Is it Monet? Yeah, I think you're right. It's Monet. Sorry to Space Boyfriend enjoyers. As someone who is very Team Space Boyfriend, I am a shame on our family and I apologize. But everyone else has a home planet. The Quarians do not have one because it was overtaken. So they are all surviving on flotillas, and that is why you have to help out their admirals a lot of times. Tali is talking a little bit about that as well, and then talking about the Geth and her research. This is also why you see all the Quarians wearing these really big face masks because their particular species cannot survive without those because of the only place they could live in earnest was their planet, and it's gone. Well, I shouldn't say it's gone. That's not true. It's just uninhabitable is the more correct term. It is uninhabitable at this time. So the entire premise of this mission is taking Tali to investigate what in the heck is going on with all of these Geth on this ship, and we're going to be looking into some files and intelligence. And if you play through this game, once again, which you absolutely should do, you have some critical decisions that come up here because Tali's entire role in the story is trying to find more research and information and ways to resolve the Geth problem as part of her pilgrimage. I had to think about that for a second. As part of her pilgrimage. But now you're at a critical spot in the storyline because with the world being under attack TM, you have to make a decision. Remember how we said before that we need to decide on whether or not we're going to blow up Tachanka, and everyone was like, why would you do that? Same vibes, except now we're going to decide, do we want to delete an entire subset of groups of robots and stuff?
Okay, that was amazing timing. So I'm going to cut into that for a second here. So I had to kind of watch on that time because we saw like the little energy beam hit towards you. It's a thing that locks down your shields, but if I get into a cutscene and immediately skip through it, then it is an instant kill. So I had to make sure I timed that, or if I was unfortunate timing, then I would have to let the cutscene play out a little bit. So got through that smoothly.
Nice, very nice. I'm glad that we actually got through that part because I know that that's a part too that can be very, very persnickety. And you can use a little bit of sound cueing and stuff there too, but it really is just a case of looking out for it and making sure that you don't just mistime it.
Yeah. Yeah, the conflict between the Turians and not the Turians, the Quarians and the Geth is just very interesting, especially because there's a lot of similar themes going on about, and it's a very classic sci-fi theme that you have to it's grappled with.
Yes, deactivation should be simple. The Geth protected them against viral attack, not physical removal.
And yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Legion here. We get random Geth VI number
87493 or something or another.
It is a cheeky little skip here. If I can remind myself correctly. These rockets also are mean.
Yeah, the rockets could actually stun you just a little bit.
Without barriers, this ship will be
Again, you can see that there's a lot of autosaves happening because it is very, very generous with the autosaves. Every time you get to a section that is part of your quote-unquote checkpoints, it will autosave for you. So even if you're playing this casually and you're like, oh no, I have to do this over, you have lots and lots and lots of wiggle room.
Yeah, they basically did a bunch of stuff on this. I forgot to barrel roll out of that. That's fine.
It's also very interesting seeing just Shepard screaming commands and a Geth VI also screaming commands.
I'll get it.
I've got to get back to this.
So did you.
rockets are targeting major life.
And now we have yet another distress beacon.
Resistance.
Yeah, so we got to pick one of the 2 missions here to get to the final section. And, you know, in classic fashion, Shepard's got to save the admirals and got to do everything.
Continue to be plagued by skill issues. But I tell you what, Shepard's shoulders look great.
Honestly, I have one mod installed on that, of course, but the mod that I always have installed along with it is the leather jacket mod.
I actually was going to ask you about that because I saw that you had the leather jacket mod. Just making sure that we're getting the appreciation that's deserved. I also really like the way that they handle some of the armor loadout stuff in this because I feel like in 2 it was a little overwhelming, but also as a person who is always driven by fashion being the final boss, it didn't matter how good the armor was. I'm not putting on something ugly. That's not a thing that's happening. And then in this one, they kind of started attaching your skills, your upgrades, your reloads, and your refreshes much more to the actual skills that you're learning and training up in.
Yeah. And so this is actually the most like volatile part of the speedrun, primarily because these Geth like to play the version of Where's Geth Waldo.
I was gonna say we did Where's Weeper Waldo, now it's Where's Geth Waldo because they can spawn well wherever they feel
and
like.
they can spawn wherever they want and they like to hide. So also here we're gonna do this cheeky little skip here. So generally you have to disable all the AA gun or the anti-aircraft guns and all that unfun stuff because we're trying to evacuate a bunch of people here and we need one of our squad mates to handle that, and you can skip the first one by just attempting to go past that, and that's gonna bring your character out of commission here, but we can just reload this conveniently placed autosave here and bring Liara back with us. And hopefully these sections do not go too bad because you can lose a lot of time just trying to find a bunch of Geth.
Well, and especially considering with the way that we're going to handle this is we're going to clear out the sections that are over by the Gatling guns. And once we can get control of the Gatling guns, we're going to purposely post up, try to just kill a couple of things here and there, and then get to a point where we can move forward with the charge. So while we're going through this section...
Oh my goodness, we're like in this wall.
Hey, you're the one that called them out for Where's Geth Waldo.
Fascinating.
So yeah, you're going to shut off the Gatling guns, and then you're going to go ahead and take over one. We're going to hope, fingies crossed, that anyone that is kind of in a weird position that our teammates can kind of help take care of, ideally they're going to be in spots that we can see right away. So this particular section, as we're moving along, there's really just hoping that RNG doesn't...
Yeah, this one's not too bad, thankfully, but the next one kind of sucks.
Yeah. The next one in particular is bad, specifically because there's a section that they come up where if they manage to meme on us, and we have to go over and get them, it requires us to go down a ladder and actually pursue them to get the kill. So again, we're hoping that A, we don't get memed on, and then B, that our girls' night doesn't meme on us. Ladies, we need you to lock it in. We need you to lock it in.
We need you to lock in on girls' night.
Please. Begging for it.
Good. There's another one that, of course, another one spawns there. I think that Geth Trooper's hiding. Come on, buddy, get out of cover.
I'm about to say, sir, you're gonna have to stand up at some point. Oh, it was not we're standing there just being caught on fire.
It was just standing over there. It wasn't even attempting to hide.
No, I was talking about your teammate who literally just stood there and was getting flame broiled.
I don't think, 07 tally. Thanks for taking one for the team.
This is an auto-scrolling section. Sanjan's just going to kill enough stuff so that civilians can be safe, TM. You can go ahead and sneak in a couple of donations here if you feel so inclined.
Well, we do have a $10 anonymous donation saying, good luck to today's runners. And just a reminder, if you're a little shy about hearing your name on stream, that is perfectly okay. Just check that anonymous box in your donation. I am happy to read any of your donations, and we will leave out your name.
I also just want to throw out there to everybody watching who is donating and contemplating, hey, I don't know if I really have a whole lot to donate. This is your everyday gentle reminder that anything helps. Anything and everything helps. So if all you have is $5, that is still $5 that helps the charity with their mission and all the work that they're putting out into the world, especially as we talk more and more about the mental health crisis that is just very, very prominent around all of us, especially here in the US. So don't feel like if you can't donate more than $5, it's not worthwhile. It absolutely is.
All right, so we are on the final section of the Geth and Turian, the Geth and Quarian conflict here. So I'm going to kill a couple enemies here to get the next wave to spawn. Nice. And there's going to be a whole bunch of Geth here that are going to try to crash the party, but we're going to do a lot of fancy footwork with our charge here. Also why Vanguard is very, very busted. And the main thing I need to be careful about is making sure to get to the next areas fast enough, because if I don't get to the next areas fast enough, additional ads will spawn that I do have to kill, and that wastes a lot of time.
We're on our way.
I also noticed too in the narrative difficulty, it feels a lot like, oh, nice lineup. It feels a lot like they are very generous as well with your ammo.
Yeah.
Which we still don't want to be caught up doing that. But as you can see here, fancy footwork is in full effect. We're trying to find people who are at the furthest distance possible, and we're just skipping entire sections, because otherwise these catwalks are loaded with Geth, loaded with upgraded Geth. We might even see the occasional Geth Prime, which is terrible. And as you're walking through, it's just, there's hardly any cover. Okay, that wasn't called for, sir. We were literally just talking about the run. I wasn't even being disrespectful to you.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting pattern on that last guy. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of these catwalks are very zigzaggy, lots of low cover, lots of just nonsense spawning in.
That's fine.
And Sanjan's just saying, no, I'd rather not. Pass, actually. Big pass. And everyone is just arguing all the time over your comms. The girls are always in a constant state of fighting.
Yeah, the girls are constantly fighting. This is a good summary of Mass Effect as well.
But not our girls. Our girls are fighting and ideally not dying. Looking at you, Liara, you've been eating a couple of dirt sandwiches this run. Don't think I didn't see it.
Nice, not bad.
Good. So again, this is going to be the conclusion of the Geth Quarian debacle. And this is a major decision for the entire timeline, because once again, you're going to be tasked with deciding the fate of an entire group, because that's not, thank you, that's not traumatizing. Sure isn't. Nope. I don't know why you would think that.
Buddy here.
Geth Primes are always a nightmare. Their explosion afterwards is also annoying.
Yeah, we get a really fun sort of cinematic sequence here.
I'll just enjoy it for a bit.
We think we're dealing with the base, but Dios mío, it's not Dio, it's a live Reaper.
You ever think that you're helping and then realize that you just did what's possibly the worst thing ever? Yeah, that's the moment we're having. We are not helping anymore. We have actually woke up whatever's going on here. So this whole section is auto-scrolly. Sanjan gets to have a little bit of a break, as you can see. And when we get into this next section, we're going to be doing elite hero stuff, I like to call it. Because only Shepard can do the things that are about to happen in these next couple of scenes. So while Shepard is being the elitist person in the galaxy, I think we should get hold of some elite donations of today.
Well, we have lots of donations coming in, just no comment. I would love to just give him a quick shout out here, go down the list. We have Dallas for $25, Brooke for $75, Regali for $5.
Regali mentioned.
Ooh. GK for $5, Chris J for $15, and Night Flyer for $15 as well. And Zoe Techie for $25. Thank you so much for all of your donations, all going towards NAMI, towards a great cause, helping everyone out with mental illness.
This is gonna be here for like a minute or so, so if you got anything else, feel free to shout out.
Sure. Well, I try to make a point to shout out our amazing artists every time I host. We are incredibly grateful to LLK, who is our longtime
LLK mentioned.
Yes, a longtime contributor to all of our promo banners, attendee badges, all of our emotes. You can check out her work at jazzaboo.com. That is JAZAABOO.com. Again, JAZAABOO.com. We also have Mega Weasel and Itzkasa, who are also responsible for designing several of our emotes as well that you can get by subscribing to our Twitch channel.
I believe Tali would like.
All right, I let Tally live.
Always the correct answer is always correct.
We can't have her leave the party. Girls' night would never be the same.
At all, not even a little bit. So in that particular scene is where you get a chance after taking down a Reaper to, you know, casually talk to it. I don't know why you would talk to it, but you know, it's Shepherd life, and she knows better than all of us. I just work here. So after all of that is done, you get the decision about what you want to do with the Geth, because of the fact that, you know, you were out there helping the Geth only to find out that, hey, brother, hey, friend, remember that time you helped us wake up a Reaper? So Tali is with us. She is living, and now we are going to start working towards, I think we're in some of the final beats of the game, actually.
Yeah, we're like the final sort of just like 35%-ish. So we've got our next metaphorical princess to save, and that's a sorry counselor coming and saying, please, Shepherd, help. We've got skill issues. Please help.
This is particularly funny too because the Asari counselor on the council is probably one of the most hostile people towards you throughout the entire game. Very much the I'm just doing my job type, and then will actively be like, hey, so I was just doing my job, but if you could come fix this, that would be super cool. And she does this a lot throughout the entire series. She's frustrating. She's actually annoying.
And then we'll be introduced to our sort of just like next set of enemies. But also, I believe she also tells us that there's a secret thing that will help eradicate the Reaper's TM forever.
Would have been great information to have, I don't know, about an hour ago, give or take.
Yeah, about an hour ago, before the events in Mass Effect 3 even.
Yeah. You could have just opened up with that if you would have believed us out the box that, hey, the Reapers are coming. And she is like one of the main people who's just like, yeah, that's an old wives' tale. That's not a thing that's happening. So for her to come back in 3 and be like, hey, we actually have a thing for that, it's like the biggest record scratch moment of, so you knew this, and you still, okay. No, it's fine. I'm not bitter, you're bitter. I don't know why you think that. Oh. So now we're on Thesia. Thesia. It's Thesia. I had to think about that for a second. This is the home for the Asari. It's seen better days. It's had better decor. If you've ever had the chance to go there, which you do have in Mass Effect 2 in particular, you'll see that it usually is very lavish. It's very colorful. They have lots of shops and real estate. And the Asari are a very, very interesting peoples. Yeah, so it's currently on fire and overran by brutes and Husk. But Sanjan...
Oh, this Husk literally dodged everything.
And as you can see, Sanjan taking care of that entire section with no problem, getting some level ups, and having no barrier hits. So nice no hit there. Love that for you. Charging across, covering all that distance.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my goodness, they're just trying to body block me.
Yeah, they didn't try. They were almost successful.
That's so rude of them.
Oh, and I believe that we're going to get introduced to another new enemy as a result of this.
Yeah, we'll see them for a second. We won't actually fight them. Definitely a very scary group of enemies to go up against.
So I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the run that every single Reaper that they take over a different grouping, they make different Reapers. So Husk take over humans, The Marauders are what happens when Reapers take over Turians. I forget what they're called for when they take over Krogan because I'm a terrible person and I'm a fake player. And then
I don't remember if we ever saw that. I don't think they're the cannibals, right?
I think they're the cannibals. No, the cannibals actually are. No, I think you're right because it just kind of disfigures them a little bit too.
Yeah.
And you're getting memed on with your barrel rolls a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of jumped on that one too early. All right, so we are gonna grab this weapon here. Gonna jump over to this Marauder. Thanks, buddy, for taking one for the team.
Thanks, homie. Just a small husk in the back as well. So I can talk about it a little bit. Oh God, there's another Harvester. Everyone say bye to the Harvester. It's always amazing how the Harvesters just inherently blow up by default. It's like that's so dramatic. Everybody else just dies. So there we just had an elevator clip that we talked about before. Hey, remember we discussed those? Yeah, Sanjan's not supposed to be up here. Sanjan's also not supposed to bypass this door. But, you know, Spectres, doors, optional content.
Laws of physics? What's that?
Take a look around.
We don't need to do any of those things.
Artifacts is what we're looking for.
So we briefly saw it, and I'll talk about it here now while we wait for a friend to show up. Wait for a friend to show up. You might have saw very, very briefly that there's an enemy on there that had purple health, and it's called the Banshee. The Banshee is what happens when the Reapers combine with the Asari. And in particular, those are horrifying because they can... Oh God, they're all talking so fast. Oh yeah, there's Kai Lang. Kai Lang is... He's there. He's doing stuff. He's your very, very standard issue bro who's like, I'm all powerful. I'll never be stopped. You can't defeat me. So when you get even remotely close to it, he has like 875,000 people he'll call in. Just make sure you not stare directly into the light. It is not good for you, even if it means that you can shoot him. That's just not ideal. But hey, he can call down Gatling guns at will because he's the best, except he's not. So anyway, Banshees. Banshees can one-shot you. They can one-shot you, and they teleport all over the map, so they're a little bit slippery on top of all of that. And they, if you get up close and look at them, they look horrifying, if we want to be completely honest. They look terrible.
They're an enemy straight out of Resident Evil, as I like to say.
A little bit. And in their namesake, they scream the entire time. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But yeah, we are on the third to last section. We're on the third to last section.
Yeah, it goes pretty fast.
So I think that we should get some Donny Poos in while we're loading up this next section.
Well, we have yet to talk about some of the really awesome prizes we have coming up in this opening block here. Several of them are Mass Effect themed.
Ooh!
So we actually have a Mass Effect wood burning. All it takes is $10 to donate towards that, as well as someone donated for a $5 minimum. You can get Mass Effect 3 for PS3 or for Xbox 360. But the wood burning is really, really cute. It's a little palm-sized, and it says Sanjan on it.
I personally signed that as well.
It's so awesome.
It's really cool.
We have really amazing wood burning handwriting, let me say.
So now we are in Sanctuary. This would be super... Oh, hi, Phantoms. That's the thing.
Bye, friends.
Bye, Phantoms. You can stop that. I'm trying to tell a story here. So now we're in Sanctuary, and if I don't tell the story, you'll never know what actually happens here. So there's a character in Mass Effect 2 that everyone's very familiar with by the name of Miranda, and if you do her side mission, you help her save her sister, Oriana. And so they are here in Sanctuary, and this is like the pseudo-horror section of the game. Hang on, we have to elevator skip real fast. Rails, optional. Stairs, optional. We are simply just going to go up all of these things, because again, Spectres do what they want. So Miranda and Oriana are here in Sanctuary, and they have discovered that Cerberus is doing lots of bad stuff, TM. By the way, have you ever just floated to your next section? Because Spectres can do that.
Yeah, this is just part of their powers. It's just another Friday for them.
Another day ending in Y. So Oriana and Miranda have... Hold up.
Let's see if I can... Nice, perfect.
That's why I wanted to go be quiet for a second. I remember that was a skip that you were like, this can be memeable.
I mean, that was Sanctuary, by the way.
Yeah. They pretty much find out that Cerberus is, wow, crappy. We would have never pieced that together from Mass Effect 2 after all those shenanigans and Miranda, you know, left. But yeah, it turns out that they're still pretty terrible. And they've been actively conducting experiments, as mentioned earlier in the run, combining people and Reapers to see if they can make super weapons. And they're like, wow, we hate it here. Can you pick us up, please? And we do, because we're good people. We pick them up because we're good people. But now we know the reality of what they're doing, and wow, it's awful. So we're going to go head over to Cerberus Station and give them a strongly worded letter about that. And tell them that maybe they should cut it out. Maybe they should cut it out. Big spoilers for everybody, they don't cut it out, so we have to make them. We have to force that to happen. That's the thing that we force now.
Make sure I hold down here to start the mission, because this is sort of just like the penultimate mission. Also,
Another moment.
I don't actually have to follow the kid, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see Shepard just sit there blankly contemplating her life. I would too.
Yeah, like, with all the stuff that she's done around the galaxy and all the people that she's saved, and then to still be plagued by the number of people that she hasn't saved, and then to have so many people in the galaxy kind of take that, if we want to be really honest, they kind of take it for granted how much she helps save the galaxy numerous times over. And instead of even giving her like a PTO day, they're like, but what if you did it again? What if you kept doing it?
And yeah, this is the penultimate mission. We are going to say hi to Timmy, and we're just gonna be like, no, Timmy, you can't do that.
And he's gonna take that so well. He's gonna be extremely normal about it. Spoilers, he's not normal about it.
Right, nice. So in this first section, sort of make sure we have to deal with these ads quick here. These Centurions do like to hide. I have to also make sure that they do not get up here. Very good.
So because this is the final mission in particular, this is also going to be probably one of the more combat intense ones because it's the final mission. They're sending out everything and everyone. So yeah, it looks like you got one homie left. What?
Interesting. Yeah, they also like to hide. They can be very annoying to deal with.
Very nice singularity once again. Anytime the singularity can bypass the shield and just pull them out of it is a W.
Yeah, those Guardians are very annoying.
Taking advantage of more of those carnages. We've still got a lot of fire ammo going.
That's really rude. It's okay.
So we got to actually see. I thought we were going to be able to get by the meme, but we did see it one time where if a singularity hits the shield instead, they'll just block it and then keep working. So this section in particular, we're moving fast, but we're also getting rid of a lot of enemies. And as you would expect, we're going to be seeing a little bit of everything. So the Atlas is back. We're going to see some Nemesis. We're going to see some Phantoms. We're going to see everybody. The gang's all here. And you get to see like the peak of charging, novaing, and clearing things out with high speed. High speed.
Yeah, so I had to make sure I kind of get up to this area fast. Because if I don't get to the ladder fast, hey, buddy.
Sorry, that was just... Oh, there was some dangling feet there, too.
Yeah, so you can quickly climb up that ladder and skip a bunch of stuff. You can ignore the mobs going down, because once you get up there, they kind of despawn.
Oh, that was funny.
And then there's going to be a lot of enemies here that we are dealing with. I had to make sure I time my... everything appropriately here. Hi, buddy. Stop hiding.
I love that his power of hugging the wall is just what helped him there. But they are playing a little bit nice with you. Like, everyone's been right where they need to be.
Yep, I think this is pretty good.
This is solid. Sir.
Nice. Okay, that was pretty good.
I will bypass the law.
Yeah, if you don't get to the other enemies fast enough, there's ads that just like keep respawning, or that keep spawning for a little bit. So
Another security lock. I can bypass it.
Oh, I didn't mention that part too. Part of the reason you see Sanjan save scumming here a little bit is because Edie says, there's a lock, I can bypass it. We could watch Edie bypass it, or we could simply reload and the passing can be done.
The game also makes you go through a bunch of logs, and Shepard's not a fan of reading. What? And
oh, are you getting memed?
Okay, that was extremely fascinating. That Phantom just sat there for like 5 seconds. Or hopefully I can get this one. Unlucky.
Oh no.
That's fine. We'll
Accursed.
just means we climb ladders.
Hey, you gotta get your leg day in somehow.
Yeah. Shem's got to get her exercise in.
Saving
She's
the
been
world.
under house arrest for 6 months.
I mean, for what it's
As
worth.
if she didn't have enough leg day.
Yeah, I was gonna say house arrest for 6 months in comparison to saving the galaxy for what, like a solid another 8 months out of the year consistently. I don't know. I feel like she could have more house arrest. Oh, hey Timmy.
Hey Timmy. All right, so Timmy really sicks Kai Lang on us, and the biggest thing we have to make sure is we barrel roll through that, and I have to watch and make sure he does not attack me ASAP, because if he gets close to me, then there's these really fancy fighting sequences I don't care about. So I have to watch where the nemesis is.
So remember that time where I said Kai Lang is like, I'm the baddest person here, and then he always has to call homies to help him? Yeah, a lot of that in this fight. And then there's a lot of trash talk that is just like,
You're too late to stop. I'm coming.
oh.
Hey, buddy? Okay.
Oh, so by the way, important detail that we glossed over, that's the final boss of the game. That is the final boss of the game. So this entire next section is going to be us doing,
Well, there's actually a secret final boss.
there's a secret final boss.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on a second. Maybe
There's a secret sort of real final boss that we have to face at the last part of this.
Oh, okay. I
The
see
next
what you're talking
planet.
about. Okay. I see
The
what you're
most
talking about.
scariest boss ever. Like,
And I believe we're going Earth.
yep, we're on the final planet Earth. We're going to London.
Yes. So this is going to be, as I mentioned before, you can see the Reapers are pretty much overtaking every single star system. This is going to be the last stand. This is the final hoorah, because either you're here to get things done or you probably perished in the process. Sorry about that, homie. But a lot of what's going to be going on here is a lot of setup. We're going to have a lot of auto-scrolling. We're going to have a lot of yapping. And there's just going to be a lot happening at all times. Because at this point, the Cerberus threat, we are finished with it. Kai Lang is down. The elusive man has wandered off somewhere. We'll find him again later. We don't have to worry about that. He'll show himself because he can't help himself. And now you are just trying to listen to comms and help out where you can. Everyone who's here is having the worst day of their lives. One could say the worst skill issues, because no one can keep their barricades up, no one can keep their stuff in check, no one can keep their men alive, and Shepard, of course, is here and doing everything.
So yeah, so I'm gunning for that Kane immediately to take care of our unfriendly neighborhood Reaper, and then so I could. What is that Marauder doing? There's like gaming a run around, and that was very good because Liara and Edie took care of a lot.
But not that guy. Nice melee kill. We love a good pistol whip here.
Anybody, come in. We need extraction.
Edie. Now, I just want to highlight that I was trying to help Edie. Because just based on the fact that you were facing her general direction with a huge gun, she's just like, yeah, this is fine.
So it's collateral. They'll live.
Everything's fine. Everything's perfectly okay. So now we're in a spot where, again, this is the last stand. So we're going to see a lot of scenes that are just like this of things are going to spawn. Sanjan's going to take care of them. We're going to hope that our teammates help take care of them as well.
Yeah, you can make this go a little faster if you kill enough of these like very quick, but we also want to make sure that we do not use charge, mainly because that's going to slow down time. Same with Nova.
And right now they're behaving well enough to where we have a nice little cadence going. We can do a couple of pistol shots, and then if two of them come together, we can shoot Carnage and just rinse and repeat. We're doing great over there, sweetie. You look wonderful, ladies. Proud of you.
After about a minute or so, a little less, our friends here to Save us, TM.
Good to be back. Will do.
Oh, and Anderson is back. And you know that Anderson is serious now because he has on his, it's not a trucker hat. I forget what kind of hat it is. Somewhere, someone who's a hat guru is going to be like, PT, I swear we're going to fight.
It's an Admiral Dad hat.
You know what? We're going with that. That's correct terminology now, and the hat gurus are just going to have to be upset. They're just going to have to be upset.
So there's a pretty somewhat long intermission here because this is meant to be the in between the two missions, and also you get to talk to your squad mates to have any last ascending goodbyes or any last touching moments with them. Shepard's got one mission.
Make sure we iron out these.
Hi, Garrus. That's the only time I get to say hi to you. I think that's the only time I've heard him this entire game. Sanjan, we said don't look directly into the light.
The eye of the storm.
Lord. So this is another auto-scrolling section, and quite literally, we're just gonna hang out here.
Yeah.
So,
got anything for us, Deeds? Any last-minute stuff?
We do have a couple people donating last minute. We're very close to $2,000 here.
Ooh.
We have a Corny Cecil Morty saying, if you know, you know. Hadoken. And then we have $50 coming from Azala saying, so you're saying there was an answer to this Reaper business the whole time?
I could, if you feel like it at some point, I could give you the full PT synopsis of, so you could have ended this threat and you chose not to. And the council is very much at the heart of a lot of that conversation because it's just, man, that's all I'm gonna leave them at is decisions TM were made across the entire series, and so much of it could have been averted if we just had 3 people in charge who were like, yeah, we should probably take this seriously. Probably the most serious person in this entire convo is Liara, and Liara is just like, I can only do so much. I'm just a shadow broker.
All right, so we have started part 2 here.
So again, more of the same. We're gonna be running through. We're gonna be getting set up, and
There's a good old Mako. Shout out to Mako fans. Apparently that's only me and May.
oh, there's someone behind you too. It's not me though. You don't have to worry about that. It is not me. I will say the Mako in 2 is better than the one in 1. I'll at least give them that. Hey, Harvester.
Yeah, we don't have anything, so we're just gonna straight up just shoot them down here, and then to really take care of our friendly neighborhood friend here.
Ah, the Banshee.
Not friendly neighborhood, I should say.
Nice Banshee clear though.
Yeah, you have to kill that Banshee in order for the door to open.
Again, Banshees can be terrifying because if she decides to do nothing but bamfing movement, she gets very, very slippery. And if she gets to you, it can be a one-shot kill. She doesn't always do it right away, but it's pretty high chance up there. For those of you who've played ME3 and have had the luxury and joy of experiencing the multiplayer when it was a live, active thing back on the 360 and PS3 days, there's probably several sessions in which you died to a Banshee that you did not know was right behind you. And whenever that happens, it's a bad time. So now Sanjan is moving into the next area, and we are trying to get to another kind of sort of auto-scrolly spot. Again, this is the last stand, so they really, really wanted to drill that home with the environment and the narrative that's going on here.
Oh, please, Shepard, stop gluing to the cover. You don't believe in cover, girl.
But what if she wants to be a cover girl? I'm so sorry, Sanjan. you can kick me off your couch permanently for that. Hey, Brute. Bye, Brute.
Hey, buddy, just passing through.
Right, he
Don't mind
sounded
me.
like he wanted to be involved, and that's just not a thing that we're doing. But this section also does a really good job of highlighting to you how when we say that everyone has skill issues and they rely on Shepard, if you look at some of the things flashing on the screen, it's all types of stuff that they usually send entire teams in to do. So they're like, secure these things, grab this missile battery, kill this enemy. And it's like, don't you need more than one person for this? No? Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Shepard is effectively just like 1v9 everything.
Yeah.
I just need to create a link to the Normandy.
Edie, I believe in you.
I'll let you know when I've adapted the targeting systems.
All right, so we got a lot of friends coming up here. There's 3 waves of them. I'm gonna cast Singularity and try to yoink as much of them as possible.
Singularity is trying to do some good work. And of course, people coming behind you.
I got everyone here. Singularity putting in work here.
Yeah.
Wait, was there another nerfers? Hello?
Oh, come on, get out of cover, homie. Oh, or we can Singularity him out. Good job.
Right away.
Again, Singularity doing some heavy lifting, hard carrying a lot of stuff because it's just a good spell. It is such a good spell.
Hang in there, soldier.
Heads up, we got more incoming.
So I have to be careful here. There's 2 banshees I have to eliminate, but I also have to take care of the enemies here because they like to stagger me or they like to try to punch me. And I'm just like, hey, buddy, that's rude.
Along with all the hashtag Reaper noises that are happening to really highlight that, hey, the Reapers are right there. Actually right there. They're not just kind of, hey.
Hey, stop.
Trying to be Employee of the Year. I don't appreciate that.
All right, and then there's just eliminating the rest of them.
I forget what the cannibals actually are. I don't think that they're Krogan.
Which one?
The cannibals.
Really? I thought...
They look too...
Yeah, they look too, like...
They're too round.
Got it.
Yeah. They're supposed to be more armored in the back.
I'm gonna look it up later. I'll look it up later, because it's gonna bother me. Hey, Brute. Bye, Brute.
Yeah, we get a lot of Brute friends coming over to give hugs. Derogatory.
The Stagger Brute is nasty work.
Alright, so, PT, can you open up a timer?
Oh, sure thing.
On your phone.
I'm on the case, boss.
Oh my goodness. Hi, buddy. Hi.
Oh, whoa.
Hi.
Whoa. Let me know when you want me to hit start. Oof, that collateral shot, though, was great.
Alright, hit start right about when I see this autosave. Now.
Got it.
Alright, so the reason why I had PT help me out a little bit here is, so the moment from when I see that save, it is a 90-second auto-scroller. And to highlight how epic this music is, we basically have to survive. Where are you standing, Edie? Girl.
Baby girl, I would say there's a big old truck right there.
That's like the wrong side of the truck. So we basically have to survive from an onslaught of banshees and stuff for the next 90 seconds until we can fire the missile launchers and they're ready. So we are going to try to stall them out here by sitting in this corner here for a little bit. They spawn on the other side, so it's a lot more convenient. So let me know when it hits about 60 seconds.
About 60?
Yeah.
Oh, you're past that. You're at 45.
Okay. Oh, no, we're at the 60-second mark.
Oh, okay, so I understand now.
Yeah. So I don't want to get near these banshees because if they get near me, then they kind of slow down time. I also do not want to start charging them because that also
You're at
slows
30
down
seconds
time.
remaining.
Yep. A lot of it is just sneakily maneuvering us over here.
Also, shout outs to the world's most impervious telephone booth.
Oh no, Liara. Anyways.
Oh, not the plus on there too. Hey, can you revive your teammate? Girl, I'm gonna save. It's fine. You have 5 seconds remaining.
And then so if that is right, this should pop up right about very soon.
Commander, the destroyer is getting his own line.
Hit him with...
And then here we have the iconic run.
Yeah,
Everyone's trying to reach the conduit.
I really love how the Reapers prioritize the tanks and not the small woman who has effectively been against them this entire time. Because I feel like if I were a Reaper, I would be like, nah, I don't care about the tanks. Shoot that one. You want us to shoot the one person? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Have you seen what she's been doing?
Have you seen she's been effectively an entire platoon of people's worth of saving the world?
Like, this woman is actually unstoppable, and you're saying you want her to keep running. Yikes.
All right, so we have the final boss coming up. So I'm really scared. I need good RNG.
I believe in you. So this is the official final push. It's very dramatic. It's very epic.
You're supposed to have like this war thing readiness, and this gets calculated here because of course you want the power of friendship TM on everyone, but you know, Speedrun Shepherd, she's going through it.
And she's still going through it. Also, to talk about that a little bit, I mentioned it earlier. In the original release of the game, that war readiness was directly tied to the multiplayer campaign. So if you played the multiplayer...
Okay. Sorry, I'm having you hold for a second. Oh my god. We did it.
Fantastic. We have won. We have won.
We won against the final boss. All right.
So yeah, the war readiness was directly attached to the multiplayer mechanic, which in hindsight kind of didn't do too well because of the fact that when servers die, they die. But in particular, what was annoying about it was that you had to stay on top of it to make sure that that bar stayed full. So ideally, what a lot of players did is they got to about this point, which you need to get here. And then something we didn't mention is that you cannot manually save on Earth. We didn't mention that part. Once you get to this mission, manual saves are off the table. So what a lot of people did was they got their readiness maxed out, went into London, beeline through all of it, and then made sure that that was good to go. Because otherwise, if you even let it set for like a good 2 days, it would start to deplete.
Yep, and then with that also, we are in the last minute and a half. It is literally just dialogue. Thankfully, with the mod, we're not spending 10 minutes here. We're just spending about 1:30. So allow me to do my shout out. So I want to shout out to the RPG Limit Break community. Very tight-knit community, awesome people, and I'm so happy to be the opener for this run. There's so many other good runs out that are coming up, and there's so many awesome incentives. Please support Limit Breaks. Please support Nami.
Yes. Absolutely support Nami.
And I also want to shout out the BioWare speedrunning community. And I want to shout out Mike Wave, who did a lot of the routing, a lot of the routing. There's also a lot of glitch hunters that I forget their names of, but they did a lot of glitch hunting for this. And I also want to shout out Creepy King for the mod. Incredible job on the mod. It's for each of the 3 speedruns, and it makes this run so accessible to everyone. And PT, do you have anything?
Yeah, thanks for having me on your couch. I continue to be flattered and honored that when you got this run in, you said, hey, PT, do you want to commentate for Mass Effect? And I was like, oh, I get to show the world up a Mass Effect Sicko. I'm so excited.
I know, as a BioWare girly myself, I love talking Mass Effect or Dragon Age or any BioWare game with other people.
And I'm super happy that we were able to open up this fantastic event that is benefiting Nami. As Sanjan said, donate to Nami. Help with the mental health crisis that's going on here in America because we need all the resources that we can. I said it before and I'll say it again. Anything helps. So if all you have is that $5 donation, do not be shy. Do not feel like, oh, it doesn't do a whole lot. It does mountains. Please, please, please donate to a wonderful cause. And also you get to do other things like enter for prizes.
Also, to cut you for a second, time is coming now.
Here we go. And I don't really have a whole lot else to shout out. Thank you so much for having me on your couch. Thank you so much for people who continue to support us, continue to support people like me and Sanjan on our endeavors to do things cool in the speedrunning community. This is the end of the game. This is effectively the quote-unquote bad ending because the cycle begins anew. But you do get some really cool dialogue at the end that has some implications and setup for the quote-unquote ideal next Mass Effect game. So
yep, and I mean technically the cycle continues so Shepard can do more speedruns.
More speedruns, more elevator clips.
Canon. So with that, if you don't have anything else, I also don't have anything else. So I hope you all have a great rest of your marathon and enjoy the rest of Limit Break. Please donate and take care of yourself.
Yes.
We have several sponsors here coming in for supporting our event here at RPG LB. I would love to show you some of our merch. From Tantrum Merch is excited to partner with RPG Limit Break for the first time to launch an exclusive merch collection supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI for short. This lineup includes 8 unique shirt designs, including a replica of this year's 10th anniversary attendee shirt, as well as a cozy blanket, a sleek journal, an enamel pin, a stainless steel water bottle, an RPG LB cap, and more, featuring bold graphics to heartfelt designs. $5 from every sale of these items goes directly to charity. Explore the full collection now at tantrummerch.com/RPG limit break and help make a difference. Again, that's tantrummerch.com/RPG limit break. We also have Dragon Roast Coffee, who's a dedicated coffee for gamers and adventurers alike. Their small, passionate team puts their hearts into roasting coffee to order the mythical heart of Dragonfire, infusing a touch of enchantment in every sip. Visit www.dragonroast.coffee/RPG limit break today and pick up our exclusive coffee, Mimi's Loot. An RPG limit break tumbler is also available in this exclusive collection. For each item purchased in this collection, Dragon Roast Coffee will donate a portion of the proceeds to National Alliance on Mental Illness. What are you waiting for? Adventure awaits! And have you been enjoying all of this week's RPG speedrunning goodness? Do you wish to have some more of it in your life? Well, I've got great news for you. Join us all year round with our side quests. Every week, there is a new stream from RPG Limit Break to showcase amazing runs, talk about new RPGs and speedruns, and in general, have a good time. If you'd like to see our full calendar of events and announcements about our latest RPG Limit Break happenings, join our Discord server using !Discord in the command in the channel. And don't forget to follow our Twitch channel if you haven't done so already. And with that, I will be here for the next run. But before we start that, I do need to run some of our Twitch ads here. If you are subscribing, you can instead enjoy this amazing music in the background here. Otherwise, enjoy our ads. Just a quick reminder that there is an incentive for this game coming up. You can choose which soundtrack we will be listening to, whether it's the original or the remastered. Right now, original's winning with $40 versus remastered at $35, so it's still very close. So get those donations in right now because we will be closing that as soon as we start. And as a reminder, we are here at RPG Limit Break 2026 coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI was formed in 1979 as a grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose children suffered from serious mental illness. They have maintained that focus to this day.